2024 has been a fantastic year for the channel. We started off the new year with a fresh reboot, old friends and new have joined together, and we've started building this truly incredible community together. During the year we played a variety of different games. We've been invited to the YouTube Partner Program, and shockingly for me, I've managed to keep up a pretty good schedule. Granted, there have been ups and downs, but we've done well regardless. And today I thought we'd start a new annual event on the channel, a roundup and a top 10 ranking of all the games that I've played during 2024 on the channel, off the channel, in my own time. What I would love is if you guys joined in too. I'd like to know all the games that you've played in the comments below. I'd like to know your top 10 ranking of all your games that you've played, and also any honourable mentions that you have, and maybe some suggestions of what you'd like to see in the new year. Working it out this year, I've played around 17 games I've never picked up before. Some of them blew me away and left me feeling hollow for weeks, and others, well, unfortunately, have not been able to do the same. This isn't to say I didn't like them, they just didn't hook me as I anticipated they would. Now, let's start off this list with my least favourite games of 2024. First on this list is Sprout Valley, a single-player cozy farming sim released in 2022. The idea of Sprout Valley is that you're a cat who has stepped away from a busy life in the city to start a fresh, more peaceful life on an island where you can forage, grow crops, trees, harvest the environment for additional resources, and build the island of your dreams. Not only can you grow crops, but you can fish, take trips to neighbouring islands, and forage there too. There is a story to follow as well, The Secrets of Astara. Unfortunately for me, I never managed to make it far enough into the game to discover any of these secrets. Though I did want a game where I could farm and not need to think about building relationships with other characters to progress, like Story of Seasons or Stardew Valley, I began to miss the lack of characters outside the penguin on the phone or the random shop I might come across on a different island. I won't lie, this game is cute and I love the chill nature of it, but for me, I miss communicating with other characters, growing, foraging or building items as gifts. I felt a bit lost. It's a game I would like to try again in the future, maybe when I need a break from hard-hitting games. Another game I tried this year that didn't quite hook me as I wanted it to was Spiritfarer, and that could have been due to playing the game at a time where I wasn't in the mood for this type of game. Spiritfarer was released in 2020 as a single-player or shared/split-screen co-op cozy management game about dying. Yeah, you heard that correct. It's a game about death. You play as a character called Stella, accompanied by her cat Daffodil, who is a ferry master for the deceased. It's Stella's job to care for and guide spirits on her boat to the afterlife. You can cook, farm, mine, fish, harvest, build your boat as you want, but that isn't all. There's so much more to the game I have yet to discover. This game is so cozy, heartwarming and heartbreaking, given the attachments you can develop towards characters who will inevitably leave you, and they will leave you when they feel the time is right. This is a game I want to go back to. It's beautiful, full of life, the wide open areas to explore, minigames tailored to each spirit, gorgeous character designs, and stunning visuals. Honestly, I'm sad I wasn't hooked on the game at the time. Maybe I just wasn't ready to say goodbye. I did quit the game right before my first spirit made the request to leave. I'm sorry, Gwen. I can't fulfill your wish yet. Maybe next time. And finally, the third game I played this year that hasn't been among my favourites is Rune Factory 4 Special, which stunned me as I adored Rune Factory 3, but maybe it was due to playing the game at a time I was distracted, and I'm still in the early stages. Rune Factory 4 Special is a single-player fantasy farming sim re-released with updated elements and chapters in 2020, which sees you playing as either a male or female protagonist of your choice who has lost their memories after being hit on the head and falling out of an airship. It sounds crazy, but it is an amazing opening sequence. Upon waking up, you're introduced to a dragon known as Ventuswill, who allows you to stay in the castle, but you're immediately saddled with responsibilities as you're mistaken for a prince or princess, leading you to run a farm, help with errands, befriend the townsfolk, even select one of the many bachelors or bachelorettes to marry if you wish. Unfortunately, there's no same-sex marriage, So if you fall for a girl as a girl, you're not getting married. But they can join you on adventures. Did I mention there's combat? It's very simplistic, think hack and slash, but it's a lot of fun, and some of the creatures you fight can even be recruited upon defeating them to join your farm as helpers or livestock. As I said, I'm still in the very early stages of this game, but what I've seen so far has been fun. The artwork of the characters is beautiful, the design reminds me of old school Final Fantasy, and the music is super cute. I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses, but unfortunately, this game is taking a backseat for me, as another game has claimed my attention. And what is that amazing game, I hear you say? Well, dear viewer, let me tell you about my top 3 honourable mentions and games I am looking forward to playing more of. This first game I got for Christmas, Persona 3 Reload. I can't say I'm a big Persona fan, simply because I've only played Persona 5 in the series so far. Persona 4 is sat on my desktop awaiting for the day it will be played, but I just haven't gotten around to playing it. Persona 3 Reload is beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous. Just look at it. Okay, not that bit. This game is a remake of Persona 3, an RPG that was released back in 2006 and re-released early in 2024. You take control of Makoto Yuki, or whatever name you have given your character, who was transferred to a new school, Gekkohan High School, in Tatsumi Port Island. However, upon arrival, things don't seem right. The lights are off, electricals stop working, blood splatters the pavement, and everywhere you look, coffins stand. Your character seems confused by this, and rightly so, but continues on their merry way regardless to their new dorm, where they are met with a very interesting young man, who convinces them to sign a contract. From there, the story unfolds. Your character is invited to join SEAS, a group of students tasked with defeating shadows and uncovering the truth of the Dark Hour. I'm not far into the game, but from what one of my friends has stated on their Discord, it looks like I'm in for a wild ride, and I hope I cry too. Baldur's Gate 3. I played that. I played an hour of that. Look, I fell in love with a brain and then got freaked out by a worm in my eye. It was the weirdest hour of my life, but I'll never regret it. The only reason I stopped myself playing this game was because I wonder, is this a game I should be playing on the channel? Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3 is a story-rich RPG set in the Dungeons & Dragons universe released in 2023. I'm not savvy when it comes to D&D. I know there are dice, character classes, character races, and even the ability to decide on the size of your own pee-pee. It looks like a ton of fun. Even my friend Mage Master agrees.
Just your average traveller stuck between realms. Pull me out, and we'll get properly introduced.
I mean, again, what can possibly go wrong? Please roll a 7, okay. Total bonus +3. Oh, shit, again, this should be fairly easy, right? 1! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? We roll a 1? I'm gonna try again, Gale. I'll try again. I'll try again. I need 12 now. 1 again?! I'm not playing this game anymore.
If you're good at the game, that is. It's a game I would 100% love to try again, whether that be by myself, in co-op mode, in my own time, or on the channel. It's entirely up to you guys and what your preference is. Let me know if this is something you'd like me to record or live stream. Just be prepared for me to spend hours on character creation. That thing is deep. Choose a guardian. Oh, another game that has made it onto my list this year, but not quite into my top 10, is Dredge, a horror-style fishing game released in 2023, where the ending is decided by the choices you make. It's your job as the new captain of the fishing trawler located in a remote archipelago known as the Marrows to explore a collection of islands scattered around the area. So you can sell your fish to upgrade your boat, which will allow you to traverse more dangerous and unforgiving terrains, where you'll meet an array of different characters, all with their own quests just waiting for you. But the job isn't as easy as it seems. Beneath the waves lurk dangers and secrets awaiting discovery, and some of these secrets you might not like. I thought this game was going to be cozy. I like a good cozy game, something chill and mindless to play in my downtime, but boy, was I wrong. This game spooked me to my core. I mean, it's a fishing game. Other than the characters looking disheveled, grimy, and spouting some cryptic nonsense, what really could be scary about this game? Nighttime. It's nighttime. I've never felt panic quite like it. I had a hole full of fish and was fleeing for my life as my screen flashed red, traumatized over the thought I was about to lose my life, or worse, a hard day's work. That's not even mentioning the eyes watching me from the depths, or the fact a squid crushed my ship. Honestly, this game was incredible, and the choices you make really do make a difference. The gameplay is so much fun, the graphics are stunning, dark, fit the vibe the game is trying to present. It's amazing. Dredge can be really nice. A relaxing game if you don't go out at night, but sometimes you have to make the choice to do so. And my final honourable mention goes to the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. This game was released in 2023, and would you believe it is yet another single player game? This time a narrative adventure game that, like Dredge, is driven by the choices you make. There are multiple endings, so you might want to play this game multiple times just to see what could have been. The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood has you play as a character called Fortuna, who is a witch, with the ability to read tarot cards in such depth and clarity that her predictions can be truly terrifying. Due to her abilities, Fortuna has been banished by the leader of her coven to an asteroid for 1,000 years. We join her at the 200-year mark. And she's had enough, to the point she's willing to form a pact with a forbidden creature known as Abramar, a behemoth, to take back her freedom. As I said, your choices matter, and how you make these choices is through your interpretations of the tarot cards, and these tarot cards are ones you create yourself. A variety of witches, wizards, and warlocks will visit you for readings, and it's up to you to decide the path they will follow. This game really had me turning ideas over in my head, because after my first playthrough, I learned things about characters that had me thinking again when it came to helping them. Characters were so relatable and real, their actions at times truly stunned me. The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood has a special place in my heart, but has also taught me that not everything is as it seems, and I need to think before I act. Now it's time for my top 10 list of the games that I've played in 2024, and I am including DLC in this list as their own games because the two that we played, they were big enough to be their own games. Starting off at number 10, Resident Evil 3 Remake. Resident Evil 3 Remake is a single-player survival horror game released in 2020, a remake of the 1999 Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. This game has you playing primarily as Jill Valentine, a former member of STARS, working to escape Raccoon City and miss an outbreak of the T-Virus, a bioweapon created by the Umbrella Corporation. But escape isn't easy for Jill when another bioweapon known as Nemesis is relentlessly pursuing her. In later chapters, we get to play as Carlos Oliveira, a mercenary for the Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasures Service, or UBCS, who aids Jill in taking down Nemesis and another villain, who I adore by the way, and escaping Raccoon City before it's destroyed along with the infected roaming the streets. Now, my opinion may be a little bit controversial, but I really enjoyed Resident Evil 3, and that could just be because I never played the original game, which I've heard is much longer, has sections that were completely removed from the remake, such as a clock tower sequence, and gave players more scares with Nemesis, who was ever present and chasing a lot more than he was in the remake. I would have liked more chasing and more tension, and I probably wouldn't have coped. I mean, I tried to quit the game when Nemesis first showed his face to us. Regardless of that, I had fun. Just a lot of fun. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the scares, I enjoyed the boss fights. What I didn't like was the lab section. We had one of those in the Resident Evil 2 remake, and it was fine, but the lab section just felt tedious, and it made me fear that there was going to be more sections like this in future games. Will I go back and play the original Resident Evil 3? It's likely. Will it be on the channel? Probably, but I'm not going to play it at the moment just because I don't want to overwhelm myself with games or wear myself out over them by playing the same thing over and over. As someone who really disliked zombies for a long time, I never expected to play these games, or even enjoy them for that matter. I'm really happy to have jumped into the Resident Evil series. At number 9, we have Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver I received as a birthday gift from the lovely Shadow Talaga. This is a single-player RPG adventure released in 2023 where you play as a diver called Dave. I know, right? I didn't see it coming either. By day, Dave is a deep-sea diver, collecting a variety of fish, which he takes home to a sushi restaurant he helps manage at night. You can decorate the restaurant as you like, upgrade your gear to dive deeper and collect rarer fish, complete quests, and even meet mermaids. But there's more to this game than just diving and running a sushi bar. There's a whole mystery on the blue hole to uncover. This game is hilarious, gorgeous, and addictive. I've been on and off this game a lot over the course of the year, and I'm still not done. There's so much to see and do, so many unique animations and characters. It's just incredible. The only reason it isn't higher on my list is that it can be a little bit repetitive. I would highly recommend this game for anyone who is looking for something cozy that you can drop and return to as you please. It's a lot of fun, very quirky and unique. Number 8 brings us to Resident Evil 5. I know, right? I'm as shocked as you are right now. But there are many reasons why Resident Evil 5 made it to where it is on the list, and those reasons are Wesker. No. I'm half joking. Resident Evil 5 was released in 2009 and can be a single player or co-op game. It depends on how you want to play. Want to laugh? Go and play with a friend. Want to cry? Play by yourself. I'm joking. Single player isn't all that bad. The AI is pretty intelligent and great at keeping you alive. Oh, this game is a little different to previous entries, as it's primarily a third-person shooter with horror elements. I say horror elements, as the game scared me more than once. But I'm also a big wimp. So... You'll play as Chris Redfield, a former member of STARS and current member of the BSAA. Chris works with another member of the BSAA called Sheva, who you can play as upon completing the game. The pair are tasked with locating a man known as Ricardo Irving before he can sell a bioorganic weapon on the black market. On arrival in Africa, something isn't right, and soon it is revealed the locals have already been infected with the parasite known as Las Plagas, causing them to become aggressive. As the story progresses, Chris finds another reason why he must hunt down Irving and the people he's working with, as he discovers evidence his ex-partner, Jill Valentine, who we thought was dead, might actually be alive. I was not looking forward to this game at all. In fact, I asked the question on the channel, hoping I might have been able to escape it. But you all seemed super hyped for it. One person particularly aggressive about it. So, with reluctance, I jumped into the game. Mate, I am glad I did. I was invested. It was so much fun regardless of if it's 2024 and only 60 people will watch it. I had fun. There were rough patches, but damn, I enjoyed the game so much. You guys haven't seen it all yet. There's still 2 episodes to come. But damn, it's an adventure, and I can see why you guys love this game. The story isn't incredible, but the characters and boss fights make up for that. And it's hilarious. I laughed far too hard when Chris and Sheva dolphin dove over one another. There was so much happening, so much to see, and the chapters were all unique and exciting. I truly had a blast with this game. My downside to this game, not enough horror or puzzle mechanics like in previous entries. I'm looking at Resi 1 and 2 here. And not enough chasing. Not enough Wesker. What? I like my baddies. Coming in at number 7, Life is Strange True Colors. Life is Strange True Colors was released in 2021. And if I'm honest, I was actually kind of fearful of it. After Life is Strange 2, I really didn't have much hope for the series. Life is Strange 2 didn't leave me feeling satisfied. I worked so hard with Sean and Daniel, and in the end, I didn't feel like I got a good ending for Sean. I didn't even feel like Sean stood a chance. There was no happiness for him really, and it really hurt my feelings. I loved him as a character and felt devastated when it seemed like I couldn't save him without making awful choices. It took 3 years, but I finally braved Life is Strange True Colors, and that was really only because Life is Strange Double Exposure was coming out. I wanted to ensure I'd played all the games, just in case they made any references to other games in Double Exposure. The Life is Strange series are narrative adventure games, where the main protagonist, or someone close to the protagonist, have an unusual power they must use to uncover a mystery. In this case, it's Alex Chen, an orphan who is plagued with a gift that allows her to feel what another person is feeling. Only, she doesn't understand her gift. This sometimes leads her to being overwhelmed by powerful emotions and acting the same way that the person is, whether that's upset, scared, or angry. The beginning of the game introduces us to Alex as she leaves foster care to join her long-lost brother in a town known as Haven Springs. It's a beautiful, warm, welcoming place, and she's happy to be here. Almost immediately, Alex finds herself faced with these negative emotions. But through talking about her powers with her brother and friends, she's able to grow to understand them and use them to aid others in need. Like all Life is Strange games, happiness never lasts. Alex's life is changed in an instant, leading her into heartache and a mystery she works relentlessly to uncover the truth behind with her two friends, Steph and Ryan. I love this game so much. It had me crying at multiple different points. It was just so beautiful. I enjoyed working with the characters to understand their emotions. I loved the music, sitting back and just listening. The story wasn't amazing, but I was hooked to understand what was going on and how the story all came together in a satisfying ending. The game's choices felt really important too. You really had to make some difficult choices, and they affected how the game would move. I was happy, and for once with these games, I adored the love interests. The pair in this game was so nice, lovely and down to earth compared to previous entries. I didn't feel pushed into the arms of a certain character as I did Life is Strange 1, nor did I dislike either of them like I did Life is Strange 2. They were amazing, and it hurt to choose between them, and I really loved my choice. I would have liked to have been able to spend more time with either of them. I did feel a little bit rushed when it came to confessing. It was a nice game though. Nothing major or earth-shattering. I was shocked that the whole story took place over such a short amount of time. Something big happened, and the townsfolk didn't really seem to grieve properly. But I could look past that, and I really enjoyed myself. There is DLC as well, but it felt kind of like a slog and repetitive, and when I looked into it, it turned out to be 2 to 3 hours of the same thing. I just really couldn't bring myself to play it anymore. That was kind of a letdown for me. Moving on to number 6, we have Resident Evil 4 Remake Separate Ways, the DLC. Look, I was in Mendes' bed while Wesker was giving me a hard time and Luis was calling me, telling me he missed me. What is there not to love here? Resident Evil 4 Remake Separate Ways DLC was released in 2023 and is the missing link that brings light to moments in Resident Evil 4 that needed some clarification. It's a single-player, horror-based game where you play as Ada Wong, who is currently working for Albert Wesker to retrieve the cult's darkest secrets, the Amber. And look, Luis is here too. Separate Ways was fun. I enjoyed seeing how it linked with Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like, who rang the bell to call for bingo? What caused the destruction of the village and the temple? Finding Leon's missing coat. Seeing Ada watching Leon, being able to see or hear little Easter eggs like Ashley crying. I enjoyed the game so much. Just seeing Resident Evil 4 from a different perspective really opened the world up. And almost playing as a villain. I really enjoyed that. I love a good villain era. We need more games like that, where we get to play as the bad guy. Downsides, I needed more chasing. Placenta was present a lot, but I would like to have seen her act more like Mr. X, ever present, instilling more fear in me, hunting me down as she was described to be doing so, and more Wesker. There really should have been a Wesker versus Ada boss fight. On to number 5, and this is going to be really shocking following its DLC, and that is Resident Evil 4 Remake. Much like its DLC, Resident Evil 4 Remake is a single-player survival horror game, a remake of the 2005 version of the game, re-released in 2023, but this time from Leon S. Kennedy's perspective. His side of the story is much longer, made up of 16 chapters of varying lengths, each filled with their own thrilling adventures, from chase sequences to defending yourself from an onslaught of attackers, creepy boss fights, and the introduction of very charming characters. This game was so much fun and scary. As Leon, we enter a remote village, which, when you look at it, it's actually huge. More like a town. Leon has been sent to this village to rescue the president's daughter, Ashley Graham, who has been kidnapped by a religious cult, taken to rural Spain, with the intentions of her becoming infected and spreading Las Plagas, a parasite found in the area, to the world, allowing that same cult to then rule the new world. This village and its people have all been infected with the parasite. Some of them remain lowly infected under the control of their masters, whilst others become bug-like monsters ranging from millipedes to praying mantises, scorpion-like creatures. or a massive monster with an eyeball in its mouth. I am still not okay with that. It's up to Leon to find Ashley, keep her safe, and get her out of the village and away from harm. But it's never that easy, is it? Unfortunately, both find themselves infected with the parasite and needing a cure. I had so much fun with this game. It gave me stress, made me hot more than once from stress, became frustrating at times, but completing the game with a single rocket launcher was worth it. If I'm honest, maybe I should have tried with that last boss fight. It might have been more satisfying, but it was hilarious. Especially when you find out Ada passes Leon a rocket launcher minutes into the fight. Either way, I enjoyed the story, the characters, particularly the villains. And overall, I just had fun. Ashley peeved me at times, but I loved her as well. She was a fun character, growing over the course of the game, becoming stronger and developing into a fun sidekick. Her sequence is a horror game I need making. The lack of weapons, the sense of helplessness, the fear of waiting around each corner, that section had me on edge. I would have loved more sequences like that. Much like the downsides I mentioned in the DLC, I would have liked more chase sequences. I'm getting concerned with how much I enjoy being chased in these games. I think I would have enjoyed a few more boss battles where you fought some of the bosses before their final fights. Ones where you have to escape or you were designed to lose. Maybe not as many claw hand guys. Damn, they were rough. Overall, I really loved Resident Evil 4 in the DLC. I had so much fun. I actually went back a second time and played it after completion. I love the vibe of the village, how unnerving it was, seeing how well I could handle myself with more knowledge, the enemy designs, treasure collecting, how each boss fight needed different strategies. 10 out of 10, would play again. Fourth place is being taken by one hell of an incredible entry that we played during 2024. And this entry, initially, I had no idea how I was going to record it or even edit it for that matter. And that entry is God of War Valhalla. God of War Ragnarok blew me away. But Valhalla reignited a passion and love for these games I'd forgotten through my many years of bringing myself down over how I played and handled the original God of War games. I love this series, and I love seeing how Kratos has developed into the man we know and love today. God of War Valhalla was released in 2023 as a single-player roguelike that has us playing as Kratos once again after the events of Ragnarok. He's received a mysterious invitation inviting him to take on the trials of Valhalla. Armed with basic weapons and equipment, he, along with Mimir, force their way into Valhalla and find themselves immediately struggling, eventually leading to Kratos' defeat. Awakening on the shores of Valhalla, the duo are met with Freya and Sigrun, who are confused why Kratos is determined to face Valhalla, until he presents them with the invitation. With reluctance, they accept his quest, and Kratos is allowed to enter Valhalla, but he must start from scratch, and work his way through, preparing himself for the fight ahead by delving into his past. I never expected that this was going to be what was in store for us when Valhalla was announced. When they said it was a roguelike, my mind immediately went to things like Hades, The Binding of Isaac, and Rogue Legacy. But what we got was so much better. So story heavy, and it had me determined to reach the end. I'll not lie, I went in on hard mode, not thinking it would be difficult. I thought it'd be very much like the base game. Oh boy, was I wrong. Valhalla challenged me, pushed me to be better. I was prepared to admit defeat at one point and turn down the difficulty and accept my fate. But I'm the queen of God of War. I've beaten all these games on hard mode. Like hell, I was going to accept defeat. I'm glad I pushed through and kept fighting because I've never felt more satisfied when taking down a final boss. And then listening to those words of encouragement from Kratos. I'd beaten myself up after God of War 1, 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, Ghosts of Sparta and Ascension. I really didn't think I was good enough. But I look at how far I've come and how I've improved. I'm proud. This game was a game all us fans deserved. A way to remember our roots and see how we've grown. I may have only joined this series in 2020, but it has quickly become my favourite. And I wouldn't change a thing. Valhalla was such a beautiful game, difficult, rewarding, and brought back memories long forgotten. I wouldn't change this game for the world. Though, I would have liked to have seen Athena and Zeus. I guess I can settle for Helios and his cocky remarks.
A mighty chain. Auspicious sign. You've always had such luck with chains. This is all gonna work out just great for you. I can feel it.
We're down to our top 3, and choosing between these last 3 games was really hard. If I could, the 3 of them would tie for top place, but I'd be cheating you guys and myself by pulling something like that. So unfortunately, in third place, we have Spider-Man 2. My inner Spider-Man nerd was so satisfied with this game, and knowing a third one is on the way, I cannot wait. Spider-Man 2 is a single-player action RPG released in 2023 that allows us to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales as the pair work together to keep New York safe and free of criminal activity. In the beginning, we see Peter has landed himself a new job at Miles' school, Brooklyn Visions Academy. However, when Sandman attacks New York, he unfortunately loses that job, and we see Pete struggling as he needs to keep his house and pay bills. Miles, on the other hand, is getting into college, but he's struggling with writing his admission essay. Whilst the two fight personal battles, new enemies move into New York, led by Kraven the Hunter, who hunts villains and killers alike for the thrill of it. Having exhausted his home of hunts, his eyes are set upon New York and what it has to offer, praying it will provide him with the thrill he needs. And he gets a lot more than he bargained for. The Spider-Men were not prepared for the events, pain, and heartache that unfold. This game blew me away. From the opening tutorial that didn't even feel like a tutorial, to the action-packed sequences, incredible animations, attention to details, heroes, villains, art styles, the open world, quests, references to previous games, movies, cartoons, and comics. This game was incredible, and I'm so happy that I played it on the channel with you guys. For weeks after, I felt lost. I wasn't sure what to do with myself. I was so invested. I felt like I just lost a huge part of myself. The characters and their involvement with each other, the relationships, the developments between heroes and villains. I just love every second of this game. It also really hurts me to say that this was my third place game of this year, but unfortunately, it's where Spider-Man is for now. This game made me so happy. I was so satisfied with how it went. It beat up my emotions, something crazy. What an incredible game. No downsides from me. I did feel Miles was pushed aside quite a bit, but I think that was intentional due to the events that unfold. I'm being very cryptic just in case there's people watching who haven't played. I think we were meant to feel pushed aside or forget about Miles for a short time. I'm glad I platinumed this game and shared this adventure with you guys. When I say my top 3 was hard, my top 2's even harder. I'm sat here right now, still contemplating between the two games, flip-flopping whether I should change the positioning. But I can't. As biased as I want to be, I can't. I'm going to be truthful. So our runner-up is God of War Ragnarok. Okay, look, hear me out. I know we started this game back in 2022, but we didn't complete it till 2024 together. So it counts. It counts. God of War Ragnarok is the continuation of God of War 2018 set in Norse mythology, released in 2022. This is a single-player action RPG, where we take control of Kratos, and at times, Atreus, as the pair, along with Mimir, embark on a quest to stop Ragnarok, after the events of 2018 led to Fimbulwinter arriving early. The trio, along with their allies, traverse the 9 realms, facing a variety of enemies and gods, befriending new characters as they defend themselves against those working to take them down. What made me adore this game so much was not only Thor, though we did play a big role in that, but the character relationships outside of Kratos and Atreus. Do you know how incredible it was to sit back and eavesdrop on conversations, listen to Sindri and Brock chat to each other, Atreus chat with other characters who were not Kratos, and other characters we meet along the way, getting to know each other and build their bonds? Honestly, the world building, the relationship building of this game was gorgeous. I'm trying really hard not to go in depth about this game because I'm aware I have friends watching this video who have yet to play. Come on guys, it's been 2 years. Play the damn game! Santa Monica's take on Norse mythology was beautiful. As someone who adores Norse mythology, it was amazing to see the attention to detail and their spin on the tales and the characters included. My favourite scene had to be in Ragnarok. Between Jormungandr and Thor. Incredible. The attention to detail, beautiful. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I would happily go back and play this game time and time again, just to see elements I've missed during my first, second, third playthrough. There's always something new to discover. Oh my god, I am still flip-flopping. Do I change my number 1? I can't get enough of Ragnarok. There's still so much I need to see and do. I swear, I'll defeat the king. Soon. This is another game that had me feeling lost upon completion. It had taken up so many weekends of mine. I couldn't imagine my life without it. It was phenomenal, from characters to art style, world building, design, mythology. I can't fault this game, it was beautiful. Brought many tears and pure enjoyment. Thank you for sharing my God of War journey with me. In the future, I hope we head back to Greece as Kratos. Finally, my #1 game of 2024, Final Fantasy XVI. Final Fantasy XVI made me feel hollow upon completion. I cry at games often, but never before has a game made me cry for hours, even after the credits finish rolling. I must have cried from the moment I stepped into the final section of the game, all the way through, and for a good few hours afterwards. Final Fantasy XVI is an action RPG released in 2023 that's sole purpose to hurt every person who plays it. It's a single player game where you take on the mantle of Clive Rosfield, the firstborn son to Elwyn Rosfield, the Archduke of Rosaria. Rosaria has always housed the dominant of the Phoenix, a dominant being a person who is like a summoner, whose body hosts an icon, a powerful and deadly being capable of magic, that a person can call upon when needed. Everyone thought Clive would be blessed by the Phoenix. However, it was his younger brother Joshua who became the dominant of the Phoenix. Clive instead would become the first shield of Rosaria and the protector of Joshua. That would have been the case if Imperials of the Holy Empire of Sanbreak didn't infiltrate and kill everyone. During the attack, Joshua is overwhelmed. His emotions get the better of him, and he becomes the Phoenix in order to protect the people he loves. However, he's not the only icon that night. Another was summoned that attacked and killed the Phoenix. One that no one has ever seen before and should have been impossible. There are only ever 8 icons, one for each element: fire, water, ice, earth, wind, thunder, darkness and light. But that night, a 9th icon was born, a second icon of fire. When the battle ended and bodies rounded up, Clive was found among them, and due to being able to wield magic, was sent to Sanbreak to become a bearer, a slave for the Imperial front lines. From here we follow Clive's story to uncovering the truth behind the 9th icon and how it dares to exist. Clive's story takes place over 3 different eras in his life, from highborn to slave, and finally an outlaw, determined to save the world. What I just told you with the story is what a friend told me about the game, and I can firmly say now, that doesn't even scratch the surface. The story goes far beyond not only this, but a story unfolding around all the icons in the game. What actually unfolds blew me away, and even to this day, I find myself sitting and thinking about it. If I could erase my memories of the game and play again, this would be the game I would choose to forget. Characters are my weakness when it comes to games. Well-crafted, in-depth characters with emotions, thoughts, actions, all their own. I adore them. Final Fantasy XVI has some of the most incredible characters, and a lot of them were only around for minuscule portions of the game. I don't think I hated anyone, even bad guys I should have hated. I grew attached to these characters, which is why it hurt when they succumbed to their fate. I think the only thing that disappointed me in this game was the map. It wasn't open world like they'd done with Final Fantasy 15. You travel between obelisks, but after a while, I was able to look past that, and it really didn't bother me at all. The areas within the map were large enough. There was so much room for exploration and secrets. The enemies all level with me as well and offered a challenge, and there was even opportunity for hunts, which was something that I really loved in Final Fantasy 15. I was so happy to see made into 16. They were challenging. Side quests could feel repetitive at times, but there was lore and character development hidden within a lot of them that had me coming back for more. I love this game so much, but I can't say too much because I feel this is a game people need to experience for themselves. If you ever get the opportunity to do so, please play this game and share your experiences and your theories of the ending with me. I would love to hear them. This game I will not forget for a very long time, and to be honest, I really look forward to picking it up again in the future. With that, that is the roundup of all the games I played during 2024 and my top 10 of all 17. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Honestly, I can't believe how big this turned out to be. I just thought this was going to be like a really easy small project. No, it was not. And I waited 2 days before I initially wanted to get it out to start this. I should have done this weeks ago, but typical Bright time, I don't plan ahead. I really enjoyed making this video and I hope you've enjoyed it too. As I said at the beginning of the video, I would love to hear about all the games that you played during 2024, your top 10 ranking of them, any honourable mentions, any you suggest that we play, whether that be on the channel or off the channel. I just think it'd be an amazing idea for us to do this each year. With this new year, we will be tackling quite a few new games once Resident Evil 5 is over, of course, but these games will include Silent Hill 2, Life is Strange Double Exposure, and Resident Evil 7, which I really hope you're looking forward to, because I'm looking forward to all 3 of those. And as always, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Look after yourselves out there, and here's to an amazing 2025. See ya!